we open up on this great little 6 triad here up on the with the major third there, right in the D, pentatonic area, with our major third picked up by our middle finger. Got the 5 right there. I'm sorry, no, the 6. 6 on the 12th fret with the ring and the root up top. I typically bar the G and high E, a B and high E, and put the ring there on the 12th. So we got that. There's that same kind of move, similar to Swing It On Over on the 5 chord. We're going from the 6 down to an interesting kind of D7, right? With our, it's like a D9 actually, a 9 in the bass, 5 and 7. So kind of a key transitional thing to keep in mind. Then we come into a G7, right? Our classic kind of G7 there. And we can pull our first finger back for the G6 if we want. So, and then we pick up right off of our D9. Right, and staying within position, we got our A right here, which is an A9. It's got the 7, the 9, and the 5 right there. So 5th fret with your middle finger of the D, 4th fret of the G with your index, and 5th fret of the B with your ring. Sliding that up into a 6. So here's that same motion, right? Which is the same as same chord, or if we were to transpose it over the 1 chord, right? So these are the connections we want to start making between these shapes, because this is obviously on the G, B, and high E, and this is on the D, G, and B. So if we were to actually do it all relative to the 1 chord, we might have, this, and we have, right? So those are 2 good motion moves from the 6 to a dominant. Okay, so back to the 5 chord. And then we have the Freddie King chord, okay? From Hideaway with the 7 there, 9, major third, and the root. So we move our first finger up, everything else stays the same. Then we pick up like a B diminished right there, or an E7 flat, or a G7 flat 9, however you choose to think of it. And there's an interesting kind of almost a suspended chord. It's got no third in it. We're going 7 of D, 9, 5, root. So here's that motion again. Right? And that concludes us. That brings us home. So some of the key takeaways are moving 6 chords down to a 7, that descending motion, knowing it relative to each chord you're on is one really cool element. Also, working your way horizontally on the neck, knowing your positions as you go down the neck. So here's our G, rather than thinking of G here or G there, we've got a G here. So knowing it all up and down the top 3 strings is a kind of a cool idea. And then we encounter an interesting kind of 6 variation here for the second measure of the 4 chord. There's that sliding 9 dominant sound. And there it is again, that descending 6 to 9 sound, and that cool voice leading turnaround. So I highly recommend, this is a kind of a constructed piece here, so it's not necessarily what you would play in the heat of the moment. It might be combined with some licks. It might be combined with a walking bass of sorts. It depends. But basically, these are the key kind of colors that you'd be painting with. So hopefully you'll have some fun with it, transpose it to other keys, and come up with some inversions of your own.